This came in
40.
30. 19! Related to a 50-year-old. This came in this week. It's from a guy called Ben. Hi, Lids. Just looking for a bit of advice, really. So I'm resitting my A-level second year at the minute because Rona fucked me over the last year, but I want to start doing stand-up comedy. My mum won't let me drop out of sixth form to get a 9 to 5 so that I can pursue this, as she wants me to finish my A-levels and get an apprenticeship at the power station. Sounds old school, doesn't it? Like, you'll have to get a job at fucking Mill.
You want to be a clown? Not in my house. You'll go and work down the power station with your great-granddad and your granddad and your dad and your son.
So that's literally Northern life for the last 150 years. I'm booked in for Beat the Frog on December the 28th for my first gig ever, and my mum doesn't know about it and won't let me go if she finds out. How do I break it to her that I want to put everything I can into stand-up and not go for a high-paying apprenticeship? So in my head, I was like, where's this fucking power station? Not go for a high-paying apprenticeship that I don't think would make me happy. Cheers for the help. Love the pod. Ben. So, basically, he hasn't even tried stand-up, but he's decided he wants to do stand-up. His mum is comedy cock-blocking him. That's a bit of a power struggle. Have you got any advice, Adam?
Tell your ma to swivel.
Right, okay. Thanks for emailing in, Ben. And that's
like, genuinely, your mum has got your best interests at heart, but your ma's wrong.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I do. Like, if he ends up working in a power station and never tries stand-up or doesn't for 12, 15 years, and then he's miserable in a power station at 35 or whatever, he's going to hate his mum. And if he ends up trying it later in life and he's good at it, but he never gets the breaks because it's more of a young man's game now and whatever, he'd be like, if I'd have done it then, he'll end up presenting his ma.
Your mum's wrong to try and stop you doing stand-up at all. But Adam's right. She has only got your best interests at heart, because even when I was starting out in comedy, I was like, I'm going to be a comedian. And people were like, what, as a job?
Yeah.
And when Laura started working at the place she works at last year, they were like, and what does your husband, Dan, do? She's like, he's a comedian. And they went, what, as a job? Yeah. No, I meant for money.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know it's a job, but she's gone too hard line by going, you can't do it, you can't do that, and you're not going down there. That's where she's fucked up. However, the way I read this is, you haven't even tried stand-up yet. If you can keep it a secret from your mum, like, you can go to gigs. Fucking hell. Like, lads have been getting away with all sorts of shit for fucking years.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get yourself to a comedy club a few times.
Yeah, cheat on your ma.
Yeah. Get sneaky, get a burner phone. Just try and play the game with both. Don't drop out of your A-levels. Like, you can do both, mate. Like, you should be quitting jobs and A-levels when you've done a few gigs and you're like, holy fuck, I can do this.
Yeah, you are right.
Like, there's an over-romanticized thing about, like, in comedy, you just got to go for it, fuck everything else. But you're like, mate, if you can get more than one gig a month for the first few months, you're doing really well. You can't tell me in that time you can't finish an A-level.
No, you
should play the game a little bit. Be smart.
Have a backup is always a good option. However, I'm the wrong person to really give the right advice on this, because I feel like I wasted my time with my A-levels. And A-levels are very stressful. I'm not trying to give someone bad advice here. They're very, very, very stressful. And I resent the school system and how drilled, especially if you're clever. Like, me and Carl were at school, we were in the same classes, and it was drilled into us, your only option is university. And to get to university, you've got to absolutely smash these GCSEs so that we'll let you do A-levels. And you've got to absolutely smash these A-levels. That's all that matters. And if this is not good, your life is over. And the pressure that they put on teenagers, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds at GCSE and A-level is counterproductive, disgusting, and it's led by a lie. Like, a lot of my mates who went to university have now got less happy lives and less paid jobs than people who just decided to go another way. So I think if he's a clever lad and he's got an opportunity to finish these A-levels, especially if you've already sat 2 years of them, my advice personally would be persevere, get them in the bag so you've got them there. I did that. I've got A-levels there, so if I ever want to fuck stand-up off and go back to university and do a maths degree, I can do that, and you should give yourself that option. However, I still, like...
It's not one or the other.
No.
Your advice is like, what should I do?
And you might be shit.
It's not one or the other. But that's what is the unromantic thing to say about this situation. You love stand-up. You might be the next Adam Rowe in 5-10 years. There's not many fucking Adam Rowes. Like, there aren't many comics. No, it's true, isn't it? As much as it fucking hurts me to say. No, but like, give it a go. Like with anything. Like, you can do both. You're not going to start comedy. Like, people have got this weird perception. Even mates of ours who are like, I need to turn pro because then I'll get more gigs. You're like,
you won't.
Nope, that's not how it works. It's not like the comedy industry goes, yeah, we would book so-and-so, but he's got a full-time job. Like, It doesn't work like that. You get the gigs that you're good enough to get. There are thousands of young guys, not even young, like at Beat the Frog, it's people from all walks of life. There's some older people trying to stand up. There's a lot of competition for spots. You can do both of these things. We're not saying
you can do that.
Do the power station.
It's not even just the A-levels. He could do the power station. You could be an apprentice in a power station and still gig.
P.S. You're going to hate the 9 to 5.
Yeah,
like it's just another job.
But you're going to need money. Because the gigs that you're going to be doing, we don't know where you're based. Does it say where he's based? No. Like, they're not, you're not just...
Somewhere northern.
Yeah.
You can get a job at the power station. It's not Richmond upon Thames,
could be fucking Runcorn, couldn't it? It's a power station,
yeah.
Like, not every gig is going to be 10 minutes away. When you start stand-up, sometimes you're going to have to get a train or be in the car for 2.5, 3 hours, and you're not even getting your petrol money.
Yeah, and also, have a job, get yourself a car. Your mum will be like, you're doing so well, that's amazing that you've funded a car. Fund the car for the gigs, because Christ, that makes life easy.
It really does. I didn't drive for like 8 years of stand-up.
Oy.
It was very, very difficult.
Did you ever have to get to Nottingham?
Yeah, I hate getting to Nottingham. It's really difficult to get to Nottingham.
I don't feel like Nottingham's haunting you worse than the fucking 50-year-old you fingered.
But you need...
I thought you might miss that.
I didn't finger her.
I know, I'm fucking about. I know.
But you're going to need to fund being a comedian at first. You don't get paid. And unless you're fucking brilliant, it could be 3, 4, 5 years before you get even your expenses. It's a very competitive market.
So just
you
be
need
smart.
On the side.
Be smart. Like, I love it when people love comedy this much. But there is a way of doing it where you get to do it and also just cover some bases, so that if you meet a girl or you meet someone you like, you can take them out because you've got money. You might even start getting paid work from stand-up while you're still working, and then you've got 2 fucking wages. Like, it can be quite sweet if you play it right.
And do you know what you can do as well? And your mum won't thank me for saying this, but you can prioritise stand-up while still having the power plant job, the paid apprenticeship. If you start getting more and more gigs, what I did, and the bars I worked in won't thank me for saying this, was because the power plant I imagine is mainly day work. I don't know, but I'm assuming so. My part-time job was bar work. I worked in bars, and that massively clashed with stand-up. So what I started doing was, if I got offered a gig on a night I had a shift scheduled, I just took the gig and turned up late and went, sorry, I had a gig. And I knew that these bars needed staff, and I was a fucking good member of staff. So they were like, it's getting a bit much, this ad. You can't just turn up late all the time. And I was like, well, I can. Because if you sack me, I'll just take this fucking great CV I've got and go and get a job in the bar next door. I'll be fine. This is just to fund stand-up. You can sort of take the piss a bit with the power plant job. Like, edge it out. And if they fuck you off, hope you're in a position where you've got enough from stand-up. As you're earning money from stand-up, give less and less of a shit about the power plant job. Slowly fuck it off and forge your career if you're good at it. But there's every chance that you think you're funny and you're not.
Or it might take a while for you to choose. Like, it's so easy to be like, it's all or nothing. You've got to follow your dreams. You also need money for the pub. You also need to live somewhere and have some fucking money for clothes. Like, some of the greatest artists, comedians, rock stars, when they were starting out,
We're homeless and naked.
Yeah, and that's, the Freddie Mercury story. Am I right? But I mean, you can be smart. I love that one. I feel like I'm willing him on.
Yeah.
Let us know how the first gig goes, Ben. I'd love to hear that there's It's Ball Road. Can you imagine if we're like, lads, I fucking smashed it. I did 5 minutes at the Chuckle Hut and I fucked everything off. I'm
might
naked,
text
homeless.
Jess the Frog in a minute, and if she hasn't got a compare for that day, so I'm going to ask her to do it and meet him.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
What if I'm comparing his first Beat the Frog?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Give him a proper
Why do I feel really...
Give him a mad introduction. Listen, guys, give this guy at least 2 minutes here because his life is on the line. His ma's going to kill him.
Johnny used to work on the block. Union's been on strike. His mum's a pain in the dick. Yeah, apart from I'll say this, give it all a go, but don't start a fucking podcast, yeah?
No, not
That's
yet.
closed. That shop's closed. Yet? Ever. Podcasts are done. Thank you.
Now, you can start whatever podcast you want now because we're not just in the normal podcast game. We're an award-winning podcast. Until you've won an award, we don't give a fuck what you've got to say. Keep your fucking non-award-winning podcast, you fucking bitch.
So good luck, Ben, is what I think I wanted to get across there at the end. Union's been on strike. It's down on his luck.